Welcome back to Webcertain TV. I'm Gemma Houghton, and today I'm joined by Giulia Novero, who's Digital Marketing Research Coordinator at Webcertain, and we're going to talk about the Italian market and the opportunity for businesses to target there. Hi Anna, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So could you firstly just tell us a little bit about the Italian market, the internet market there, and how it is at the moment?
Yeah, sure. When it comes to digital, Italy is a bit behind compared to the rest of Europe. We have a population of around 60 million, and the internet penetration is about 63% compared to European average of around 80%. So we're definitely a bit behind, and this is for a number of different reasons. Main ones being a slow broadband and also a lack of investment in technology due mainly to the economic crisis, which hit us quite badly. So it's fair to say that businesses are not making the most of digital at the moment.
So what opportunities do you think that brings for marketers? You know, which platforms, for example, are really popular there where businesses can really take advantage of?
Social media is definitely one of the main ones. They're very, very popular in Italy. Main ones are Twitter, Facebook, of course, LinkedIn, and Instagram as well. Instagram actually has a lot of users, but very few businesses present on the platform. So it's something that digital marketers should definitely look at when targeting Italy. And mobile is very, very popular as well. But a lot of websites are not responsive, so that's another thing to bear in mind. And as far as e-commerce goes, the main platforms are Amazon, and then eBay, Etsy and Alibaba as well. And businesses tend to mostly use these international platforms instead of having websites of their own.
So that's, of course, a really good way for businesses to get started, I guess, in the market then, to use one of these platforms that's well known, that's trusted by users and make a splash that way.
Definitely.
And what about language when it comes to Italy? Because, of course, it has its own language, but how important is it to use Italian language over English? What kind of language considerations should you have in mind?
Yeah, so when targeting Italy, is very, very important that all of your content is in Italian. So whether it's been written from scratch or has been translated, and if the second one is the case, then it should be checked by a native speaker. So definitely Italian, and it should also be checked for any grammatical or spelling mistakes. They can cost you very dearly in Italy, it's fair to say. There is a lot of emphasis on the use of proper language and correct language, so that's one thing to bear in mind. And as far as the tone goes, digital marketers should avoid a language that is too formal, excessively formal, and go for a more colloquial style, especially when targeting young audiences. In that case, slang terms and humour can take you a long way, actually. And that's the only case where a bit of English is allowed as well. So in key phrases like, low cost, for instance, or more popular expressions, they work really well with young audiences. For instance, I remember we used to have adverts for a particular type of biscuit called Ringo, and the slogan was "Do you Ringo?" And that resonated quite well with the young audiences. So very simple expressions like that actually work quite well in English as well.
And then, of course, it's not just language. We often talk about this at Webcertain and Webcertain TV. The cultural side of things is also very important. What should anybody who's targeting Italy know about Italian culture and bear in mind when creating campaigns?
So cultural sensitivity is vital when targeting Italy. We have a whole array of symbols and images with lots of different connotations that can be, if used wrongly, can damage your campaigns quite heavily. So for instance, we use religious images quite a lot. So for instance, figures like nuns or monks are often associated with, herbal remedies or more natural type of medicines. Or perhaps the image of paradise is very popular when it comes to food adverts, to indicate how good some types of food are. So those are just some examples. And then superstition is also quite big in Italy, probably due to the Catholic religion, to be fair. So some things like, for instance, four-leaf clover will indicate good luck. But other things like black cats or broken mirrors indicate bad luck. So it's very important to be aware of these things and just keep them in mind.
What about from a geography point of view? Obviously, Italy is not a huge country, but it is quite different in the regions and the division between the countries. So what impact might that have on marketing campaigns?
I think, first of all, it's very important, like you mentioned, to stress the regional aspect of the Italian culture. We have 21 regions, and they all vary quite a lot in terms of language and dialects, or customs, culture, and even food and recipes and things like that. So it's important to bear that in mind when targeting Italy. In terms of specific regions, it's important to obviously bear in mind the particular customs of the regions that you're targeting. But apart from that, it's also important to remember that the southern area of the peninsula is probably the one that's going to need localizing the most. Okay. So English is not very popular there, and actually using some expressions in dialect and things like that can help you a lot.
May take you a long way and help you stand out.
Yes, definitely.
So aside from obviously language and being culturally aware, which is very important, are there any other things that are very important for Italians when making decisions about buying online? Anything else that businesses can do to help them stand out and really make a splash?
Yes. So again, when it comes to online purchases, Italy is a bit behind compared to the rest of Europe, and this is due to a variety of reasons. So people are often worried that what they buy, they can't examine in person first, and they're worried that it's not going to match the online description. Okay. And also they're worried about not being home at the time of delivery. So this links to some issues with the postal service as far as delivery is concerned, and also to the figure of the shop assistant, which is quite an important one in Italy. Normally when you go to a shop, and this could be any type of shop really, within a few minutes of entering it, you'll be greeted by a shop assistant, on some people can say attacked. And they will ask you whether you need any help, and they will normally guide you throughout the whole process of finding what you're looking for, trying it on, if it's an item of clothing, and actually buying it. So obviously this is not possible when it, online. So that's one of the reasons why online purchases are so low. So it's really important for businesses to stress that they are there in case of need. So to give all the necessary contacts. And
I guess have a local customer service option.
Yes, absolutely. That's vital. So giving all the numbers or emails for customer support. And also specifying all the delivery methods and returns as well, how they can be done.
So just making sure that you're as clear as possible, I guess. And,
yes. Yeah.
And is there any, you mentioned the quality issue and the concern that, what you get might not match or be as good a quality. Is there anything that businesses can do, any symbols, any signs that they can give or information they can give that really will help reassure the customer that they're going to get a quality piece of item, whatever they order?
Yes, I think being as specific as possible with the item description, that's a big one. And maybe including a video as well, or lots and lots of pictures. That will help. So to make sure that people know what they're getting.
And then what do you think the future of digital looks like in Italy? How do you see it developing and growing?
I think it looks bright, actually. The country is already investing in its broadband, so to hopefully improve it. And also figures as far as e-commerce goes are steadily rising. So I think it's a market with a lot of potential. So
it's a good time to be thinking about branching out to Italy if you're not already active there.
Yes, for sure.
Great.
It is.
Well, thanks for sharing those insights today, Anna.
Thank you very much.